Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Manners and More with Millena. We're excited for show number 28 and today's very special guest is the fabulous Patrika Darbo. Now you've seen her on Days of Our Lives where she's most known for her role as Nancy Wesley. But what you didn't know is that you've also, well, may have or may have not known, but you've also seen her on Dexter, on Seinfeld, on Growing Pains, on Step by Step, Saved by the Bell, Roseanne, Married with Children, Lois and Clark, The New Adventures, The Middle, Desperate Housewives, The Unfabulous Minor Accomplishments of Jackie Woodman, Gilmore Girls, The Ruby Bridges Story Movie of the Week, Roseanne and Tom Behind the Scenes on NBC Movie of the Week, My Father's Son on NBC, and that's just some of the credits, and that's only on television. And we haven't even discussed any of the movies or other important work that she does, but she's here with us today to do just that. I would like to welcome very special Miss Patrika Darbo. Thank you, Mrs. Patrika Darbo.
Hi, Annie.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm very fine, thank you. Thank you for asking me.
Good. Well, we are so excited to have you on the show. Been dying to get you on here to talk about all sorts of things, etiquette-wise, what you do, and just life in general.
You got it.
Okay, well, let's jump right on in.
Okay. Let's jump in and say devious maids last night, honey. I'm not sitting still for anybody.
Don't sit still for us, so you heard it from Patrika. And hey, today, if you would like to call in, we are taking callers today. 323, good callers, please. 323-965-1600. Again, that's 323-965-1600. 1600 if you'd like to call in and speak with the fabulous Mrs. Patrika Darbo about what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to jump right in. Now, Patrika, I feel like this is a little bit of, this is your life. You were born in Jacksonville, Florida, and you grew up in Wisconsin, Georgia, and Florida. Now, Patrika studied theater at Georgia Southern College in Statesboro, and she undertook further study at the Theater Atlanta School of Drama. Now, Patrika worked as a credit manager in addition to pursuing acting before she stopped being a credit manager in 1984 to pursue a full-time acting career. So, Patrika, now very few children have a clear and decisive idea of what they want to do early on in their lives, in their development stage. But it appears, at least as far as going into secondary education, when you went to the theater school of drama to study theater, you kind of knew that you wanted to be an actor. So what was that point in which you decided that that was the avenue you wanted to pursue?
Well, I'm not sure if this is what I want to do now. I've got a lot of time to make my mind and do something else right this moment. I don't think anyone should ever say this is what I'm going to do, because along the way you're going to find something even more interesting to do. Mm-hmm. And I think for children, nobody should be pushed into one direction. Let them develop and let them decide. But also, I think if you change your mind, that's all you have to do. If things aren't working, change your mind, do something else. My dad told me that acting was not something I should do because I didn't know how to type yet, so I should learn how to type because that was such an iffy kind of thing to do. And I didn't wait tables very good because I dumped things on people. And I was like, you did order mustard on this. Do not tell me you didn't order mustard on this. And so I didn't do too good as a waitress. Uh-oh. So working in an office atmosphere was pretty good. And I did my acting on the side. In school, you have to take your generals.
Right.
So you get your basics down, and then I pursued. My mother said I came out of the womb acting, so it was sort of destined. But it's like I always hate it when somebody says my son's going to be a doctor or my daughter's going to be this or I think kids have to find their way. I think we need to give them guidance, good constructive guidance, yes. And but I think we have to let them find their own way, mm-hmm. and what's in their heart. Because and I know that there's so many parents and people out there that are doing jobs they don't like to do.
Right.
And it's unfortunate. I mean, we are in a society that you do. Most cases have to pay your bills if you want to have a roof over your head.
If you want to have a roof, yeah.
And we get locked into things. I mean, and unfortunately, it's not getting any better.
No.
And and life is too short. We are all losing friends that, suddenly you go, I haven't talked to that person for a while, and then you find out they passed away or something, or they're ill. And so if you've got to live your life with a smile and be happy all the time. I mean, and that may be Pollyanna-ish at this point, but I think when I was doing my credit job, I was acting part-time, but I was unhappy. I wasn't doing everything that I wanted to do. Fortunately, being a credit person, I could be whatever I wanted to on the telephone, pay your bill, or I'm coming to get whatever it was, and I could be mean like this, or I could be like this, I'm coming, and to get that thing right now, so there was an opportunity for me to at least be creative in what I was doing, which afforded me to be there. My last job as a credit manager, a gentleman told me that I was a woman no more than a goat, and that I should never contradict him again.
What?
I gave them 20 minutes notice or 2 weeks telling them I could never work for this man again, and found out he couldn't work with me either. But they were bankrupt within 6 months, and when I did stand up, I said my response to him was, bye! And so, you find things to move yourself forward and make life happy. And in 1984, I full-time became an actor and paid my bills. And I'm going to interject myself here, which is totally off the script that we were going to talk about here. But there's a book called Money Love, and I would suggest, if you can find it, to read it. And it's very science of mind. It's what comes out of your mouth is what the universe hears, and what your inner child, your inner being hears. So you program yourself. The worst abuse that can be anywhere is mental abuse.
Yeah.
Physical abuse, you can get over that bruise. It's going to scar you, and sometimes it really kills you. But being told you're a slob, or you'll never amount to anything, or you can't do that, is a terrible kind of abuse. But this book tells you how to program yourself to make money, to have that vacation money, have that rainy day money, have that my new house money, have that my new car money. And when I first started in 1984, I said to my husband, honey, we will always be able to pay our bills. I'm going to be an actor full-time, and I will always be able to pay my bills. I was always able to pay my bills until in 1985 and a half that I read this book, and then I went, well, I don't want to just pay my bills. I want to go on a trip. I want to have this. I want to have that. So I started applying those things, and it happens. You have to believe in yourself.
Yes.
Don't let somebody else dictate who you are. Believe in yourself, because you can do anything. No limits. You can do anything.
Anything. Wow. Wow. Well, I mean, and that's our show today. I'm just kidding. That was just fantastic. And so you've just spoken to me just so much personally that I look up to you so much.
Thank you, honey. I try to be a strong mentor for people. I think sometimes you just need a little guidance. I'm not perfect by any means. You can ask my husband of 40 years. He'll be sure to tell you that I'm not. Of course, I'll tell you he's not either, but, my grandmother would say, be ashamed to spoil two houses with us. But
now, hold on. What does that mean?
Well, honey, why would you have one crazy worse person in one house and one crazy person in the other house? Just put them in the same house.
Don't want together.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't want to spoil two houses. Just spoil one house.
I like that. I'm going to use that.
Anyway, but I think some of the things we're talking about acting-wise, my stepdad, who was known as the biggest little man in baseball, his name was Donald Davidson. He was with the Boston Braves, Milwaukee Braves, Atlanta Braves. He passed away. He was with the Houston Astros. But he was only 4'2". That's 4 foot 2 inches tall. And we called him Booby High at home because he came up to right about here. If you can see that on camera. And but my dad, as I said, was known as the biggest little man in baseball. He was the traveling secretary. He was in publicity. When he passed away, he was the traveling secretary, but he was also assistant to the chairman of the board of baseball in Houston. And he told me that I could do anything I wanted to do. and not to let somebody else limit that, even though he's the one that said, that's too much money for a woman to be making, you need to be able to type.
He's the one who said that,
but I think it's, that as parents is what happens, I think sometimes is the same messages are passed along. And just remember that those are old tapes you don't have to listen to. You know, you can be whatever you want to be and embrace it.
Embrace it. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, that was one of the questions that I was going to get to later. Was I read that you had said that he was a smaller man. He was short in stature, but he gave you tall wisdom.
He gave everybody tall wisdom, I think, and
beautiful.
inspired along those lines. Yes.
That was that's amazing. You're so lucky to have good parents who help.
Well,
and
now
support
wait a
and
second
nurture.
here. You're getting a little carried away here.
Or a good parent who gave you good advice.
You know what? I've learned along this lines. I'm 65 years old. And now you can all go, oh, no, she can't possibly be. But anyway.
No, you can't possibly be. Oh, no. You got a day over 41.
That's right, honey. I think what we learn as we get older that our parents do the best they can.
Yes.
And let's face it, nobody takes a test. There is no test to be a parent out there. There should be a test for parents.
Yes, there should be.
I mean, we can all procreate, but we're not all parents.
No, we are not.
And I think that that's one of the most important things is people, I myself did not have the best. My parents were divorced. I lived with the evil stepmother part of the time. This is not the wonderful dad I just talked about. This was my mother's husband. But my mother, at the same time, was not the best. She was not the best. But she did the best she could. And I spent a lot of times with my grandmother, my mother's mother, and I saw why my mother did some of the things she did.
Really?
And the interesting part about it is my sister had 4 children, or she has 4 children and numerous grandchildren. But I saw my sister do some of the same things to her children that my mother had done to us. Not in a malicious, violent way that she was going to hurt, but just, you know,
yeah, the same cycle.
the same kind of cycle. And I think that, as I said before, you have to stop listening to those old tapes and listen to your heart. You know what you want to do, go for it. You can have anything you want. You just have to set your mind to it and go for it. And go for it in an honest way, treating people the way you want to be treated, putting yourself. I always tell actors, don't sit in a bar whining with other actors about this agent didn't do this or this role didn't come my way. Get yourself in a class. Go enjoy yourself. And those are very important things.
Exactly. They are very important. And, you know, my mentor actually told me last week to start implementing this 15 minutes every day and just visualize what does Millena want. Just 15 minutes in the morning, at night, whatever it is, but every single solitary day.
And
watch
write it
manifest.
down. Write it down, too. Carry it with you. If you just find your favorite little things. Unlimited abundance is mine, is one of my favorite things to say. And I accept it under grace, meaning that any kind of abundance that comes to me will come because I won the lottery or a paycheck came in that I didn't expect. And no one has to pass away to leave me money. So it's under grace. You know, God provides the best way for me to get those things, and I provide. But I do have to say at this point, in a religious kind of way, that the helping hand that God is going to provide is at the end of your own wrist. You've
Yes,
got to
it
be
is.
out there and doing it for you and
Yes.
taking care of you.
Yes.
Don't just sit there going, take care of me, take care of me. I think there's the joke about the fact the guy was on top of his roof with the flood, and the rowboat came by, and the motorboat came by, the helicopter came by, and the guy drowns, and he said, God, what happened? He says, I sent you a rowboat, a motorboat, and it's what else can I do? So you have to be open to all that stuff.
You absolutely do. It clearly says it in the Bible. Faith without works is dead. You can't say I want to win the lotto, but never go get a ticket.
There you go.
You know, it doesn't happen that way. You have to
Or keep it in your purse for 2 or 3 months going, oh, I never checked this. Well, hello. Unlimited abundance.
Unlimited abundance,
Go get
unlimited
it. Even if it's a $2, next time it'll be $10. You know, just keep at it.
Keep at it. Keep at it.
In anything you do, keep at it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we're going to keep at it, and we are going to be right back after this quick break with more Manners and More with Millena with our very special guest, Mrs. Patrica Darbo. And we're back with Manners and More with Millena with today's special guest, Miss Patrika Darbo. And we are taking calls today if you would like to call in, and we are also on live chat. The telephone number is 323-965-1600. That's 323-965-1600. Now, Patrika, we just thank you so much for all of that wonderful information and all of what you've done in your career and television, and we're going to get into the movies in just a moment. But what would you say was the most significant role that you played thus far? That really had the biggest impact on your career and in your life?
Well, I think probably, since I have already said to you that in 1984 is when I decided to really pursue acting full-time.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, my friends had a theater on Riverside Drive in the Valley, and they were doing a production of Cheatin'.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over and auditioned, and it was funny because the director and the writer, who are also producers, said if she can walk and talk and chew gum at the same time, we're going to hire her, because they knew they could get a discount for the theater. Anyway, Del Shores was the writer of that show,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to originate on stage the role of Maybelline,
Mm-hmm.
and from that, Del wrote Daddy's Dying, Who's Got the Will, and that play I did at Theater in Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
which is now a Greyhound bus depot, which is now, I think, not a Greyhound. I think that went out of, I don't know. Anyway, it's very weird. We did that play for 2 years at that theater, and we also were invited to go to Edinburgh, Scotland, and perform in the Fringe Festival.
Nice.
And so then we got back, and they decided to make a film of it, and I got to reprise my role in the film with Beau Bridges as my husband, and I mean, it just was a wonderful thing that then I was put under contract by ABC, and then I did Step by Step, and so it just was, things started to go from there. So it's like, and that was like, it took me, we did the film in '89, so from '84 to '89 I was doing Del Shore shows, and I also did Sordid Lives. Del is a very wonderful, prolific writer who, his characters were put upon, but then they triumph. So no matter how many times you called me fat, in other words, the bad girl in Daddy's Dying said, I came in and said, I've lost weight, and she said, well, look behind you and you'll find it. So it was that kind of thing. So, but I get the guy in the end. I leave my husband and run off with the hippie. So, which was Judge Reinhold. So it was. That was probably the biggest start for me and stuff like that, was doing that stage show. And but again, it was me saying, I'm going to do this full time, and things falling into place. And I think one of the film roles that wasn't for another few years was In the Line of Fire, that I got to do for with Clint Eastwood, and was killed by John Malkovich in that film.
Oh,
which,
look at you.
Well, but it's interesting because that film is now 25 years old, I think, and I still get recognized for that. So thank you to my grandma and my mother for the good genes, because I look damn good for my age.
Yes, you do.
And so,
Yes, you do.
but it was a very a role that really kind of interesting enough, just being one of the leads in a film to going and doing two really nice scenes in a film, which were very memorable. It was terrific to be able to do that. And then, again, Clint Eastwood liked the scene I did in the bank with John, and I got to do Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. I mean, things I guess the basic thing I want to say here, too, is treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yes.
And remember that the assistant you meet today is the director tomorrow.
Exactly.
No one should ever have to tell you to be nice to people, but I'm here to tell you, be nice to people. Treat them the way you want to be treated. I mean, and what goes around comes around.
Yes, it does.
So, and remember that. Just remember that.
It really does, especially in this town, in Hollywood. Oh, people remember.
What? It's everywhere, but this town is huge, but it's really
Exactly.
less than an inch. People remember.
They do.
And you're only as good as your word and your reputation. And so guard it, honor it, take care of it.
Exactly. I tell anyone I will not let anyone besmirch, mar, or mitigate my reputation. No, no, no.
I do that by myself.
Exactly. And I'm not doing it.
No,
so
you go.
You can't do it either.
There.
So let me ask you, now your career has spanned several decades, and it includes such great films as Rango, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, In the Line of Fire, as you just spoke about, Charlie Wilson's War, Search for Santa Paws, Hatchet, Madhouse, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, Speed 2, Babe, Fast Money, House Arrest, Karina, Leaving Normal, The Vagrant, Dutch, Daddy's Dying, Who's Got the Will, and Mickey Matson, Copperhead Conspiracy.
It's Mickey Matson and the Copperhead Conspiracy, but I think they've changed that title a little bit too. It's just been released, and I'm getting ready to do Mickey Matson and the Pirates now.
Yes,
so
I was just got to say that. You're filming another installment
Yes,
of that.
yes,
Congratulations.
thank you.
I mean, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing that you've just done all of that. And you do it so beautifully and so wonderfully, so just with such precision.
See how nice she is to me.
enjoy.
She's not paying me, so she got to be nice to me.
It's easy because it's true. It's true. You're fantastic.
Thank
oh my
you, honey.
goodness.
Thank you.
So I just want to know, like, okay, so when you first started to now, there's been such an evolution in women's rights. That have you seen a difference in the roles that you played initially, whether it's film and television, back in the 80s and versus to what is acceptable and seen now?
This is going to be depressing.
Uh-oh.
First of all, at this point, as women, if you hit 40, and I'm sorry, I've been there, done that, we've become invisible. It's a man's world. I think there's a song out there like this. There are some very gifted women who are out there that are still working, and God bless them. But it's not improved that much. Women's roles are not out there. They're not. I think what we fought for, and I shouldn't say fought for because it sounds so thing, but I do remember marching and burning my bra and all that other stuff. But we can be doctors. We are doctors.
Yes.
We can be lawyers. We are lawyers.
Yes.
We can be judges. We are judges. But it's always male, male, male. It's like, so I think that there needs to be some changes that haven't happened, or they happen at one point and then they don't happen. I think our business has become, I wouldn't want to be young now and do this. I would find something else I want to do because it's going to be so difficult for the kids coming up. There's a lot more venues, but there's not the protections there, and the internet and people saying, take your clothes off. But kids don't think twice about taking a snapshot with their telephone of something that.
Right. Exactly.
But it's like. A picture is forever.
Yes, and especially on the internet.
A picture
Everything
is
is forever.
forever.
Yes.
And if I can say anything to any young person that's listening out there, a picture is forever. It just, and women, young women, what the heck are you doing?
Right.
I
don't understand it. What is the
honey, I just say I burn my bra. I did a lot of things to say women's rights. First of all, we were chattel. Then it took us forever to get to vote. And how many women don't vote?
I know.
My grandmother was a suffragette. What is wrong with you guys? We fought to get you the right to vote. We want you to vote, and I have to skip over it because young men, you need to vote.
Right.
This is your future, and you're not taking care of it. And on a side note here, I'll say, your SAG-AFTRA union officers and board are up for election right now. If you are an actor and you're listening to this and you have not turned in your ballot, get busy. You only have a few more days, and it's your right and it's your duty. I can't express that enough.
Okay. Okay. It's your right and your duty. Actors out there, please vote. Send in your ballots. Go online.
I could tell you how I want you to vote, but that's not why I'm here. Why I'm here is to say vote. I also want you to, young women, pride. You know, I don't understand.
I'm with you. That's why I've been doing this 28 weeks. I'm
honey,
with you.
First of all, I'm older. I do not have children. I just don't understand it. I want, ladies, you have the power. You have the power. Say no.
Yeah.
Take a little time to have a little self-respect and know that you are far more valuable as you. You don't need some guy, some girl, somebody else telling you what your worth is. Because let me just tell you, there is not a person on the face of this earth that has enough money to pay me what I'm worth. There's not enough money. There's not enough money on the face of this earth to pay Millena, anybody in this room, anybody listening. Nobody has enough money to pay what you're worth. And you need to value yourself. You need to know that you are priceless. Mm-hmm. And you should take that and own it and not let anybody take advantage of it. I have been on a soapbox here, and I didn't really mean to go there, but I want young women to stand up and take their power. I'm so sorry to hear children that don't have fathers because women have listened to somebody they shouldn't have listened to. Mm-hmm. And I'm tired of politicians being in my womb. They have no right to be there.
Right.
They need to stop. They need to stop.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to now stop myself.
No, it is, no, Patrika, you are just, the information that you're sharing with the passion is what we need, is what we need more of. And I thank you for sharing it. It's true, it's from the heart. And
I'm going to be old and feeble and senile, but I'm not going until about 102 or 103 having sex with the person I want to have sex with. Good. And I'm going to call the shots. But I want young women and young people out there to know that if you don't start making changes and start taking care of yourself and taking responsibility, I'm going to be by myself behind the walls with a gun and nobody's getting to me. Because you're all going to hell in a handbag unless you shape up.
Shape up right now. Exactly. They need to hear this, and they need to hear it. They're hearing it from someone such as yourself, then it makes a difference, is what I've realized. That they hear these things from people that they see every day, their mothers, if it's that, or a teacher, if it's that, but they really don't have the positive reinforcement. And media plays such an important role in that positive reinforcement.
Oh, and it's just...
But media's not taking responsibility. They're not doing anything.
You know, as you said a while ago, we have the internet, and we have all this stuff going on, and we are glorifying and worshiping people. Let me just talk about the Bieber here.
The Bieber. You know what? Hold on. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And we are going to get right on into the Bieber here. And we'll be right back with Manners and More with Millena with Patrika Darbo. And we're back with Manners and More with Millena. I'm your host, Millena Gay, with special guest Patrika Darbo, and we're going to talk about the Biebs right about now.
Well, I mean, anybody that, like, their daughter passes them a phone and he touches his privates with it and she worships that, I mean, come on. mothers, give your daughters, teach them a little bit. Or ladies, take a little pride in yourself. And as a union member, let's talk about the fact that this child became a sensation by using somebody else's music. That's theft. Let me just say that's theft.
Yes.
There are actors, there are musicians. We'll go to the B because that's where I was. There are musicians, there are songwriters, there are people who wrote these music, who wrote that music, who did that. He stole it when he sang it. Now he's a sensation. I don't see him paying anybody back for that.
He's well enough, he's well off enough, he's able to do. I mean, that would be, you would think that would be the right thing to do. But have people told him that? Does he know? Or does he even care?
I don't think he cares, and I think his mother needs to step up and say, this boy needs to be reprimanded here. I mean, he may be giving you a new house and providing you with a credit card,
just gonna say that.
But fame is fleeting. Fame is fleeting, and he needs to wake up and smell the roses, but so must his mother at this point. And as our other person in the room here just talked about sex tapes and stuff, this is what's basically wrong. I sound like I'm on a real big roll here, aren't I?
It's okay. You keep going. You keep going, 'cause I'm with you.
But, we glorify and make instant stars out of somebody who's fornicating.
Right. What is that?
And makes a tape of it.
Makes a tape.
And now is a multimillionaire, and now her mother, who should have said, "What were you thinking?" is exploiting that and has her own talk show on the okay. I can only say that Snooki has sort of disappeared, so maybe these people will too one day. I have no idea. It's just astonishing to me. Like I said, I'm glad I'm old because I couldn't deal with all this. Though maybe I should do a sex tape, a senior citizen sex tape. That's what we should do. We'll look for it, we'll wait for it, and let me lift this up and say, whoa, my boobs are at my ankles, baby. This is it. Rock out. What are you doing? I don't want to see that. But then again, if you're going to pay me $67 million like the Kardashians, give me a line of clothes and jewelry and exploit that, then what the hell? I'll go for it too.
Exactly.
I mean, no, that is so wrong. I just lied because I'm not going there. I'm going to win the lottery. That's going to be honest money. I'm going to put my $10 on the counter and I'm going to win the lottery.
Yes.
That's the honest way to do it. I think we have all these people who profess to be good Christians and good Bible people, and yet we allow this kind of stuff to go on. Mm-hmm. We exploit that kind of stuff. This is so wrong. It's so wrong.
It's so wrong. I so agree with you, Patrika. I mean, my goodness, I go on and on about just can they have some talent? If you're going to be on television, have some talent. There used to be a law that said that if you were going to be in film on a television, something, then you had to have acting skills.
Well,
just like if you're a
you
doctor,
talked about the fact I went to college to do. I mean, it's how is that? I'm going to school to do this, and had I been letting somebody fornicate with me from the back door and put it out on the internet, I could be a star right this moment, major star. It's wrong. It's wrong.
With
my grandmother saying wrong. It's just wrong.
Wrong. It's too much.
Wrong.
You could be making. Did you see there was a comparison between which is more popular, the new Prince of Kate and versus Kanye and Kate? Really? There's a comparison. I don't understand. I'm with you, my friend. I'm with you. It needs to stop. How do we stop it? That's the question. How do we change it?
Pick up a book and read a book.
That's an idea.
How many kids can't read? That's kind of astonishing to me, too. Do parents sit down with their children and look at the homework? Oh, no, there is no homework. We do not want to hurt their little fragile stuff. And, a baseball game, but nobody loses. Everybody wins. Give everybody a trophy. We don't want to hurt anybody's little self-esteem. Hello, people. The real world doesn't give everybody a trophy.
It
doesn't pay everybody. Everybody is not a winner. There has to be losers. There has to be winners. And if you want to be a winner, work for it.
Exactly.
Study. Do the right thing, and you will be a winner. Otherwise, that's it.
Exactly. And even at that, it's not in your hands. I mean, I was just sharing with you, and I've shared with the audience that I was honored to be nominated for Outstanding Actress in a Daytime Series, and it was the EOTM Awards, and the award show was yesterday. Well, unfortunately, I did not win that award. I was honored to be nominated, and I was in attendance, and I appreciated the experience.
And you just sat
but
at home
I-
for the last 10 years and did nothing to get that nomination, right?
Exactly.
Mhm. Yeah,
I wasn't
right.
working 17 years in this industry.
hello.
I haven't been on 5 soap operas. I don't know. But it was just, the honor was in the nomination. But had I not had the experience growing up of accepting, everybody can't be a winner. And now, trust me, it hurt a little bit. It hurt a little
Because we all
bit.
want,
because
we
wanna
all
win.
want to do it,
We want to.
but at the same time, no one will ever take away.
What they didn't give you.
No, well, I am an Emmy-nominated actress.
Yes,
When
you are.
somebody introduces me, I'm an Emmy-nominated actress.
Yes.
It would be nice to be the winner, but I am the winner because I'm an Emmy-nominated actress.
Exactly.
And how many are not?
Hello.
Okay, so you take those things, embrace those things, and now you work to get that Emmy. You work to get that Oscar, but it's work.
Yes.
And when you see these sex tapes and all this stuff, that's not work.
No.
That's garbage.
Exactly.
And if you want to live your life garbage, fine.
Live
It's your
life
life.
garbage.
That's your life.
That's fine.
That's your life.
I just wish it would
But
not
when
on
you
my
get
TV.
to heaven and you're standing there before the Lord and he says, "What did you do?" "Well, I did a sex tape through the back door." Guess where you're going?
The back door.
Yeah, and straight down.
In a handbasket.
There you go. I don't even think it'd be in a hell. I think it's just going, goodbye. So long.
Well, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with more Manners and More with Millena with Patrica Darbo.
Do anything for that. I mean, it's expensive.
Hey, welcome back to Manners and More with Millena. I'm sitting here chatting with my dear friend, Miss Patrica Darbo. And we are just talking about everything today. And it's a wonderful, wonderful time. And I hope you're learning a lot because I surely am. So I'm going to get back to talking about now, we were just discussing off camera that there is an error on the internet. Oh no, the internet is wrong.
It's
an error.
It's like they're not errors. They just, in some cases, I don't think you can call them errors. I think what you have to call is that people get information backwards sometimes and things like that.
Right.
And so to me, it's not important unless you say that I killed somebody or I got a sex tape out there. But if I have one out there, oh dear, no.
Well, you were named TV Guide's one of TV's most sexiest stars.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I hate when people. I'm not one of those people that has to have accolades. It just kind of is a little embarrassing, and I don't mean it to be, or I'm sure you don't mean it to be, but I am a short, round, red-headed woman, by all means overweight and everything, but I was named one of the 16 sexiest people in television by TV Guide, and it was a tremendous honor. I mean, I was photographed with some beautiful women in there. One of them is on now, Mistresses, what's her face, who grew up on...
Eva?
No,
Rosalind?
no, it was... I can't even think. Hello, that's because I'm older too.
It's okay, but you deserve to be there, and you're beautiful.
You know what it is that I think that's what the thing is. Don't let somebody else limit your stuff. I mean, as I've said before, I'm married. I have been.
40 years happily.
And have been. I don't know if all of them have been happy or not. I'm, sure I'm normal like everybody else, but I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I think what we have to remember is that if you look at a garden, that there are different flowers, different colors, different types of flowers. Some smell good, some stink. Some are red, some are blue, some are green, some are, and we as people are a part of that flower garden. We are all different, and we come in different sizes and different packages. And so again, don't let somebody else. If I'd listened to people calling me tubby 2x4 and fatso and all those other things as a kid that I went through as a bully, which is another thing we could talk about, bullying. You have to take care of you. You have to stand up for you. And my dad, who was 4'2", went through all the midget, dwarf, and all the short stuff, and he's the one that said to me, "You can be anything you want to be." Mm-hmm. It's so important that we don't let other people
define who we are.
Right. Don't let them define who you are. Don't let them. If there are so many labels, the bullying out there is horrific. And the internet has sort of just really opened that up and been terrible. But if I could say anything to any young people that might be listening, or if this is replayed and somebody listens to this, pay no attention to those people. You know what? Fools' names and faces always appear in public places. So just these people who write things on walls and put them on the internet or say things about you, it's basically because they have a problem.
Exactly.
They have a problem, not you. And it always makes people feel better if they have somebody to condemn or somebody to pick on, because then the focus is not on them. Mm-hmm. And I would say to those bulliers, get your shit together, and I'm sorry that I just said that bad word, but get it together and stop picking on other people, because you have no right.
None whatsoever.
When your own backyard is cleaned up, then you might be able to say something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. People who live in glass houses cannot throw stones. I say I live in an air house. My house is air. I'm not throwing a stone if I can help it.
Mine is cluttered. There's probably rocks in there, but I have no idea where they are at this point.
Well, I know we've talked a lot about your acting career and a little bit about the union, but my question is, I know that you played an integral role in the merger between SAG and AFTRA, as well as a lot of others, as well as myself, and I want to take this time to say thank you for that, for your diligent efforts and work into bringing these two actors' unions together. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all in the same community, the same field. Everyone else has, nurses are in a union, doctors are, actors need to get to be together.
It's interesting because unions, we talk about the unions, but the unions are really in this country not as big as people think they are. There is a lot of right to work states and things like that that really abuse people. Mm-hmm. I mean, if anybody listens to Tennessee Ernie Ford used to sing 16 tons, and there was another, owing your soul to the company store, and I equate Walmart to the company store. And when you start putting all the mom and pop businesses out, and then you just have one store, then what's to stop that one store now to go, no competition, let me start raising the prices.
Exactly, and that's what they did.
So people beware out there, and sometimes I have a problem with the union, as we all do. I have a problem with other unions. I firmly believe in my heart that it's for everyone. You can't just if you're a teacher and you're in the teachers union, then don't suddenly think you can't do this or can't do that. When kids are coming out, they can't read, then something's wrong with your union.
Yes.
Something is wrong with your union. If your teachers are working 8 hours a day with your kids and they can't read, somewhere along the line there's a problem. But also take responsibility, parents. You need to know in first grade if your child can't read.
Exactly.
Don't wait till they're a senior in high school.
No.
That's wrong.
It's unacceptable.
It unfortunately has become acceptable because they get a trophy regardless of whether they win or lose.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter.
It matters.
It matters.
It really matters.
It matters.
Because the children are the future. They're what's going to keep, they're going to lead the country. They're going to take over when we're gone. And
they're going to lead the country, or everybody better start learning how to speak Chinese or something else, because somebody's going to be running it, and
exactly.
it's not going to be good if we keep educating people who we're not educating.
Exactly.
It's not going to work.
So let me ask you: is that what inspired you to become so involved in? Because you're involved in Television Academy.
Well,
to make change.
I got involved with the union because I had always worked under a SAG contract, and suddenly I was working an after contract, and I went, "What do you mean I'm working today and I'm not getting paid for it?" And it was a way in the camera when you work on a daytime show, whether you're working. Whatever your salary is, if you're working on show 1, 2, 3, and you work on show 1, 2, 3 Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you're only being paid Monday, basically. And so because you get paid per show, and I was like, "What do you mean I get paid per?"
Right.
So I got involved because I wanted to see what was going on, how to change that. That was also why I worked hard with the merger and stuff, is because I think when you are united, you have more of bargaining power.
Yes.
I just think that at this point we are going to have even harder problems coming up with the union, whoever wins at this point, because we still have to merge our health plans together. And now we have Obamacare coming in and this coming in and that coming in. So if we don't get our pension and health merged together too soon, and I'm hoping that we don't have to look at our producers thinking that, well, we got something to hold over their heads now, Those are the kind of things you don't want to do. But the unions were formed for us so that when we're working these 8 hours that turn into 18 hours. 18
hours, I was just about to say.
It may look like a glamorous life, and it is in a lot of places. I wouldn't trade it for anything. There are long hours, and there are some controls in them now that weren't around a long time ago. And I'd like to see them kept. But abuse of power of any kind is wrong,
right.
Which goes back to the teachers and things like that. You've got to find a way of doing stuff. And I don't like the fact that somebody's getting paid $450,000 a year.
Right.
That's not doing their job when there's kids that can't read. Somebody up there is.
There's something wrong.
There's something wrong.
Exactly.
Something's wrong.
Something's
wrong. And just going, is not going to solve it. You need to get involved. Get involved.
Get involved and take action, which is what you do. And you're involved. I know you're in the women's committee. You're on
Honey, let's just say it like this. The fact that we have phones that have all this stuff on it, a parent can be involved now. They may be at work, pick up the phone, and email the teacher and say, "Give me a progress report on my child."
Yeah.
You've got nanny cams at home for your dogs 24 hours a day. Take a look at your kids' classrooms. Let's find out what's going on. I mean,
that's a good idea.
Parents need to get involved.
Send the teacher a text.
Text the teacher. I mean, she may not get it right away because she's teaching, but when she goes in, she can look and say, "Well, I need to get a progress report here." But also, parents, when the teacher tells you that your son is not doing this or your daughter's not doing this, then it's time for you to do something.
Right.
Take the phone away. Take the internet away.
Okay. Take the television away. Take all of it away. Take the
all
car.
of it until they start doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. Those are the controls that we need. We need that.
I think we all as parents want our kids to love us and do stuff like.
I know.
Well, sometimes
it doesn't work.
Tough love, baby.
Exactly.
Tough love.
That tough love, it works. It works. We need to get back to it. I agree with you. Well, we're going to take a quick moment right now to acknowledge one of our sponsors today is Tamara from Sugar and Spiked, and she has provided us with this wonderful refresh juice. Tamara, can you tell us what this is?
That's watermelon banana water today.
It is so good. It is so good.
It's amazing. Watermelon banana water, and it's healthy water. And it's amazing.
And when you get down to the bottom, you can eat what's left over.
Exactly.
Drink and a snack. How bad is that?
Exactly. Tamara also has a new menu, a list of her services. Okay, here we go. And it's a list of her. And they're alcohol-infused desserts of a large variety, and any treat can be turned tipsy sweet. And so we've had a lot of them here on the show, and I've completely enjoyed you being here, Tamara. Her email is sugarandspiked at gmail. That's sugar, the letter N, SPYKED, at gmail.com. And you will not be sorry, because I'm telling you, Patrika, I mean, there have been days where Tamara has given goodie bags of cheesecake stuff and brownie stuff and
I'm looking at the Jell-O shots right there.
Oh, they were amazing. They were amazing. All I know is that I have to lay in my bed with them right here, because as soon as I have them, I'm like, you can't walk anymore, can't talk anymore.
I don't want to get
Just
that
go to
far,
sleep.
but they do sound pretty good. There's a cheesecakey things and brownies and popsicles, and I'm going over to her house later. She doesn't know it yet, but I'm going over to her house later.
Okay, you can go over to her house, but you guys out there, you can send her an email and request one of her wonderful menus. Again, that's sugarandspiked@gmail.com. And also, I want to take a moment. There are beautiful paintings that are around. There are two specifically, and they are from the wonderful artist, Ms. Donna Andrews. Now, her story is so amazing. She started at 19 painting, and then she stopped because she was told that she had to do something else, that painting wasn't solid enough. And so she stopped, and at 62, she started back, and now she's in her 70s. And this is the artwork that she is able to, she's just in her to create. Donna, would you share a little bit about these couple of paintings that you have?
Sure. I just love to say I love your spirit. I really do. I stopped at 19, and I had a drinking problem, and it cleared up when I was 31. And I went to El Camino till I was 63, and my teacher said, "Why don't you matriculate?" And I said, "What does that mean?" He says, "Why don't you graduate?" So I graduated from El Camino after going there 20 years, and I started painting in oil at 63. And when I graduated, I went over to Otis to show them my portfolio at Otis College of Art and Design, and they invited me into the school. And I graduated with honors in 2007. And now I'm with great artists like Artist Lane. I've been in the California African Art Museum. I was recently at Watts Tower. And this is a painting when I first started. This young man was in Ralph's in the aisle, and I gave him my card, and I said, "Do you mind, can I take a picture of you? Would you mind if I painted you?" There's something about the essence of this young man that I saw, and I had no idea that I would use Picasso's wings upon him. And I think that's Catalina in the background, and he's never seen it. And it's not. I haven't seen it for a few years too. And this one, what's the name of that? Steve Alexander McQueen, that great designer that committed suicide. He's very famous. Alexander
McQueen.
That's his name. Well, this was a picture in a magazine, and I was so enthralled by the grace of it. It's called The Dance of the Flowers, and I was doing the background. I was trying to get the blue, and I couldn't get blue, and I finished the background in like 15 minutes.
Wow.
And being a new artist, I am where the kids were when I was in school. They were at that age where things just came about. When I went to Otis, I was still copying Rembrandt and Leonardo da Vinci. But now I'm coming into a much more expressive stage of my art at 75. So here I did this background in 15 minutes, and it didn't come out the sky. And when people look at it, they say to me, "Is that the ocean or is that the sky?" And it makes no difference.
It's what you see. It's what you see. It's what you see. That's what the artist is.
Right.
We can all see things that are different. And it's because, I thought, as I said, I thought that looked like the comedian. So.
Yes.
Chris
Because
Rock.
I thought I went, oh, she painted Chris Rock. So it's like.
But no, the guy at Ralph's.
beautiful.
I did a lady, and some people think it looks like Michael Jackson. I wish you could look up my website, and you could see all of my art.
What is your website?
I'll give you a card.
Share it with the audience, Donna.
Okay. My website is www.artbydonnaandgers. That's me, A-N-G as in George, E-R-S.com. And you can get in touch with me at dmandgers@msn.com. And you can call me at 310-686-5018. and I'd be glad to do a portrait of you. Not that big, of course.
I think what everybody on your
Thank
show
you,
should,
Donna.
what everybody should know from Donna is the fact that, I mean, as I'd said, both my age and stuff like that, you have no limits. You have no limits except the ones you put on yourself, and your portraits are wonderful, and God bless you. I mean, I
Thank
think it's
you
great
so
that
much.
you found your voice or found your fingers, so to speak.
I did.
It's
I
great.
did. Thank you.
And,
Very talented.
and our other lady that you were just talking, Tamara's a registered nurse. I mean,
Yes.
she can get you drunk,
And then
and then she can fix you.
and get your own
And
drunk.
But I'm so pleased, ladies, to have been on the show with you. I mean, it's really great, and thank you for including them. What a great bunch of ladies. This is terrific.
They
Thank
really
you.
are. I mean, you guys are so wonderful, and what you bring and add to the show with your artwork and with your treats that we can't have until after the show.
That's true.
But it's wonderful, and this refresh water, and you hydrate us, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Tamara. And you
you for
inspire
having
us.
Thank you, Melina. Thank you for having us. We enjoyed your conversation.
Thank you.
And I agree with everything you said.
Thank you. Woman power, honey. There are women power.
Yes,
Hey.
there was one more thing I wanted to touch on really
Okay.
quickly. Now, so many people are influenced by the fictionalization of characters on television, in the movies, and especially in soap operas. They think that it's real, and of course we know that vampires aren't real and that the people coming back from the dead aren't real, but they take these nuggets and I'm going to incorporate that, and I'm going to faint, and they do all of these things and thinking that it's real. And it's not. They forget that we get paid to do this, and we read it. Someone has written some words. So, what would you suggest, or how important is it for young people to not to use such characterizations in the pursuit of their own lives, and to depend on themselves? How important is that?
Well, I mean, television and books and things like that when you're talking about fiction, that's what they are, fiction, but they're escapes. So it's a good thing to go in there. It's when you find that fine line that suddenly it's not. You bring it over into real life and things like that. But if you want it, go get it. You can't go become a vampire. You can't go but you can become an actor
Yes.
that does that. I mean, soap operas are very different than primetime television. I mean, the fan base and stuff is pretty much still the same. But on a soap opera, we come into your homes every single day. So we've become part of your family. And so I think sometimes in that case, that's what happens. I mean, I got a lot of mail. I got popped by this little old lady who must have been 108 at a City of Hope event. That when I first started on the show, she came up and popped me on the arm and told me to leave Carrie and Mike alone. And then she said, "Would you autograph this picture?" And I was like, wait a second, you just popped me, and now you want me to autograph a picture. And so it was.
She was 108.
But she just, it's like, you vest your time. Soap operas, everybody says they're gone. I don't think they're gone, and they're coming back. I mean, look at Tyler Perry has just created a new one that's doing very well.
The haves and have-nots.
And Oprah is now showing two of the soaps that are on the internet now on her show during the week. Days of Our Lives just won the Emmy for being the best show.
Yes,
Young
congratulations.
and the Restless has won a ton of them. Bold and the Beautiful and General Hospital have won them. I mean, those are the four that are left right this moment. They have audiences or fans that are very vested in what goes on there. And it used to be that it's generational. There are grandmothers, mothers, daughters, and then their kids now. I mean, there's 4 or 5 generations watching the soap, and they can tell you everything that's happened and things like that. And it's a venue that allows people to have that bit of escape, and somebody's life is a little bit worse than yours, or I think one of the best things for me was the fans saying, "I don't have to live through a size 2. I have you as a 2.0, size 20. doing what I want to do and having the hunky husband and stuff. So we are there, we are actors, but we are doing parts that allow you to have that minute to escape and stuff. Just remember that it is fiction, that it is, it's a place to go and escape. It's a place to sit down and watch TV with your family, which we don't have anymore. I mean, we are in a, it's not the 1950s where mom cooked dinner and dad worked, and now everybody works. And if you sit down to the table, everybody's got a phone in their hand. I would say leave the phones in the living room, sit down and have a conversation about what you did today. Talk to one another. Nobody talks to each other anymore. You go to dinner and people are on the phone doing stuff. I mean, it's like, hello.
Right. or sometimes they're texting to each other.
I know, it's like, hello, I'm right here.
Right. We went through all of this to get here, and now you're on the phone?
What's going on? Perhaps maybe
Bad
some of those
etiquette.
bad sex things, they should have been texting instead of doing the things they were doing.
Exactly.
So,
Woo. Well, Patrica, I know that you are on Days of Our Lives as Nancy, and we love you as Nancy. And you're also going to be coming up in the upcoming Mickey Madsen new Pirates Cove film. And is there anything else that you have coming up that we should be on the lookout for? Or?
I'm starting a new web series called Acting Dead, which I can't really tell you much about, but you can just go from that aspect.
I like it.
I finished the web series Misbehave. And I did an episode of Bloomers, which is another web series. I mean, I just like to be busy, and I like to do, I love the creative process. I love to be a mentor and pass things on and help people. And believe me, the same way I go to the bathroom like everybody else, and I have an opinion like everybody else. And I'm not the end-all, be-all. Just be true to yourself, treat people the way you want to be treated, and get out there and vote for things. And ladies, remember that you're ladies, and do not subjugate yourself to anybody, especially a guy who thinks that he owns you. Okay, I'm going to get on that boat again. I'm getting off that boat.
Well, thank you for that information. Thank you for that reminder. And how can people follow you if they want to
Oh,
follow
honey,
you?
I can barely turn the phone on and off. Thank you very much. I will tell you that I have an email that people can always email me if they want to, which is TOTOFANS, TOTOFANS, at yahoo.com. And I answer everything, and I answer email and fan mail and everything, and I'm accessible.
Now, can people follow you on Twitter?
Yes, I'm just at Patrica Darbo. You can certainly at Patrica Darbo me if you want to.
Okay.
That sort of gets me confused too. I have a blog site that Anthony's been trying to teach me how to work, and I haven't quite got that down yet either. But
Anthony's your fantastic PR.
No, he's not. Howie's my PR. Anthony's my friend. We're going to dinner together, and
Howie's your fantastic PR.
yes, and he's teaching me. Anthony's teaching me how to work my blog thing. Anthony has a Mac. I have a PC. Didn't that sound like I know what I'm talking about there? I have a PC. He has a Mac. I have no concept of what he tells me to point and drag. It just doesn't work. I got to quit now because the young man that's sitting across from me who's not married and says he fools around wants me to stop talking.
Ooh, okay. Well, with that, we're going to say thank you to Patrica Darbo, our very special guest today on Manners and More with Millena. I'd like to also say thank you to Tamara from Sugar and Spiked and Donna Andrews with her artwork, and say thank you to you so very much for tuning into this very special episode, show number 28 of Manners and More with Millena. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. You stay blessed, take care, tune in, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.